Hello. So this is my Cool Tool screencast. The Cool Tool that I chose to review is called Wonderopolis. So the affordances, they have a ton of videos, text and listening features, assessment, and this thing called Wonderground. So I'm actually going to go to the website. This is what it looks like. So every day there is a wonder of the day, and this changes daily. So what I really like about this is if you were to incorporate it into like your daily news or something, you could definitely do that. Another great thing is that it has a video feature. So if students didn't have, the background knowledge, they would be able to watch that video and that would definitely help them. There's also visuals, so there's a ton of pictures. While they're reading, they can also listen, which I find really helpful. There's vocabulary words that are defined, so that's really helped building vocabulary. There's also wonder words, so each article has a list of words that relate to that article. And then there's also like a wonder word challenge. So I think that really is something great for people that may finish reading early or whatnot. Also, Wonderopolis is designed for like question formats. So if you were to type in a question, you'll get a ton of results relating to that question, which I think is great because that's something that I find is hard with Google. You can't really ask a question. And yeah, so this is great for that. Another thing that I think is great about this is Wonderground. So Wonderground is like the teacher portion. So I made a teacher account. Log in. And you can create lesson plans and then assign them to your students. And then something else that I really thought was cool was you can look at other teachers' lesson plans. So all of these lesson plans, I can go in and I can look at them. There's also like a ton of resources. So say you didn't want to assign an entire lesson, say you wanted to just show something quickly, you could definitely do that too, which I think is helpful. Wonderopolis is also, you can directly put it into Google Classroom. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Sorry. Oh, it's free. I don't know if I already said that. It's free. So that's amazing because I feel like there's so many resources on this, and to have access for your students, you could literally assign lessons on this. I feel like I don't really ever see websites where you can do that and it's free. So I thought that was great. So now I'm going to talk about the constraints. I don't really see a lot of constraints with this. The only thing that I really see that would be a potential constraint is the age group that you would use it with. So in my first grade shelter and immersion class, I would not assign a lesson through Wonderground and just let them go on their own. But I definitely would use it to give them prior knowledge. If we're reading a story, I could quickly go on here and, type in the search and find a video. And I feel like that's really important for my students because I'm always talking about how they don't have the same background knowledge as us. So I think that's really helpful. And since this is created for teachers and students, you're not going to have to worry about commercials, one, and two, what you would find on YouTube. Sometimes there's like weird things on YouTube that you don't really want your kids to see you scrolling through. So this is great for that. So my learning objective is, as a result of the lesson, students will create a multimedia composition or productions which convey meaning visually for a variety of purposes. Basically, so what my thinking is, using the Wonderopolis tool, which supports both fluency and vocabulary, Wonderopolis allows students to further research ways of communicating while also developing their fluency through the listen and read feature. As students develop their understanding, they will also develop their vocabulary as important words are underlined and defined. Through this process, students will then have to work together to create a focus board of some kind, collaborate, and think critically to synthesize information as well as communicate information of their choice by presenting their focus board to the class. So, an example of this, if I were teaching a lesson about communication, I would follow the 3-phase internet reciprocal teaching. I would teach them what communication is. With their group, they would come up with a focus question. What do they want to know about communication? Anything related to communication. So this is just, for example, how do animals communicate? So I type my question in. I'm going to watch a video. I'm going to look at pictures. I'm going to read all about communication independently. Then I'm going to come back together with my group and I'm going to synthesize and evaluate the information that I just read about, and I'm going to make an infographic, some sort of focus board infographic, something that I can present to my class to show how or why animals communicate. Someone else might look up, ways of communicating, the telephone, Morse code, things like that. I think that Wonderground really is supportive of that independent research, which is so, so important. And I really like that the teacher also is able to assign lessons. So this is definitely something I would use in like a third or, even second maybe, but definitely like a third, fourth, or fifth grade. Thank you.